Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor. So happy to be back here, and I just wanted to do one more update on things. Thank you so much to everybody who's tuned in and joined me. I just wanted to react to something because I saw a lot of feedback on me, and I'm so grateful for everything. I'm feeling so positive and grateful to be back, to be making content for you. I just wanted to make sure I cleared things up, and I just responded to some things that I saw out there that are just making just awful assumptions about me and my new followers. And I don't want to plug this Twitter and these comments, so I've pulled my phone up just so I can read it. But look, this has been a tough week. I never have claimed that I didn't need to work on my own things internally, that I didn't do terrible things in my personal life, and that I made fans uncomfortable. All of those things I have taken accountability for. I don't want to keep doing it, but I've done it, and I will continue to do it just to make sure people have heard it. But what's really frustrating me is this just assumption that now I am now a alt-right, toxic, NRA, Gamergate, right-wing misogynist, and that all my audience is too. Just because we choose to have evidence beyond just believing everybody carte blanche. And so it's frustrating me because I'm not at all trying to say that I'm innocent here fully. I'm not at all trying to say here that I wasn't always difficult to work with. I think that's a topic that I've seen a lot of people talk about. I did get angry and I did get very passionate about things. It's a lot of pressure to deliver the content that I had to do. It's not an excuse, but it makes me have to fire people that aren't delivering what they need to do. It makes me have to say, there's pressure and there's guidelines. And granted, there's a million things I could have done better. But as a successful creator at the time, it does create a little bit of a pressure, of an ego, of a lot of things that give you a big head and a lot of challenges to keep the salary coming, to keep the job going, and it doesn't always jive with everybody. And I don't like that I was that way. And I really, in my time past then, have been working on focusing how to not be that way. It's something that I did face and want to do head on. Another accusation that's been out there is just that there were employees that felt that I was harassing them. This is just not true. There is one employee, and I don't want to keep calling her out. I've reached out to her. If she wants to talk, I would love to talk because I'm completely confused what she's talking about. And it offends me in a way that she, as being as an open book as she was, that she isn't willing to talk to me about it and just went out with vague statements of inappropriateness. Because when you go vague with a statement, people can inflate it further. And so I don't know what they're talking about. And there's another fan who keeps saying she worked for me and she didn't, who says I tried to it was inappropriate with her as well. She didn't work for me. Two, she actually was a very intense groupie for the whole channel, and this was a thing that was talked about a lot across a lot of people who are still there. And there was a point that she felt like I was being a sexist for not putting her on the channel. And at one point, I had an honest conversation where I said, "Look, I don't get it. That's not what it is. I just feel like you're very aggressively doing whatever you can do to get on the channel." And I called it out as such. And I said it just, and to be honest, the gifts you've given, the comments we've made, it really feels like you're just trying to sleep with us. And she said, "Well, I'm sorry you felt that way." And I said, "You're not, so you're not trying to sleep with us or with me," I said. And she said no. And we cleared the air and we apologized and we moved on. And one part of that conversation was taken out. And now those two allegations are just sort of like, well, no, he's still this. Guys, I'm here. I'm an open book. My DMs have been open. I've been on interviews. I'm trying to do more. I'm trying to clear the air. I'm trying to take accountability for things I did. I want to defend myself against the things that I didn't do. And these two vague accusations that keep going out of there out of context, it's not right. And I see Film Twitter just using whatever things they can grab to ignore the real issue here, which is the fact that I was merely trying to prove that someone who made harsh allegations did not tell the truth. She did not tell the truth. And a lot of people have seen that, and I'm not asking anybody here, and I want to talk to my new audience. I'm not asking you to harass, to bully anybody. None of any former colleagues, not anybody who's criticizing me, not my accusers. I just wanted my story heard. I wanted to talk about what happened to me and share my side of things. And some people are hearing that and connecting that, and it doesn't mean we are alt-right misogynist jerks. It just means we have differences of opinions. And I feel like that's something I've grown politically as well. And I think a lot of film Twitter, a lot of just Twitter in general, and especially California, where I was very guilty of it, you do live in a bubble where you just think your idealism of how the world should work is the only way it should work. And it does tend to lean more liberal thinking, which for those that don't know, I have had very liberal thinkings in my past. But I've since moved to Florida, and most people would say, "Oh, gross, Florida." No, Florida has been amazing for me because, one, it's just regular people who aren't there to promote things every day, and you can have conversations about things where it doesn't feel like they're all out to get you or stab you in the back or promote their thing. And you do have real conversations, and they're not all liberal; they're conservative too. They're, God forbid, Republicans. And I don't have a problem with Republicans. I hope Republicans don't have a problem with me. I think what's very important for us as a society is to have dialogues and not be so condescending to people and speak so poorly to people. And so many people on the left that are just accusing me are just being so aggressive as well. And I agree. I've seen a lot of people on my side over aggressive, and I'm asking you publicly, please stop being so aggressive. That is not what I want here. That's not the base I want here. And if you subscribe and you're disappointed to hear that, so be it. But I want to be a place where I can call out the hypocrisy on both sides. And I want to be able to bring evidence and show the receipts when I can, to just show when people are BSing and they're not telling the truth, and not accuse people and start drama. That's not what I'm going to be here to do. But case in point, I thought, let me get to one instance that I feel like summed up something of why people are being quiet about this. And then those who are being very aggressively against it, without even seeing my video, without hearing my words, they're just calling me abusive and just assuming that's what it is when they've never even met me. I find that kind of thinking ignorant. I do. I'm sorry. And I would rather have a civil dialogue with someone like that who can try and help me in the error of where they think I strayed, and let me see if I can see that perspective and see if we agree. So I can change, instead of talk down to someone and tell them that they're a jerk and they can't change. That's not helpful for a good society. And I think a lot of people also on the side of film Twitter just don't want to get involved in this drama. But what's so frustrating to me is they had no problem doing it when the accusations came out. And they just took it so much harder and harsher than the intent behind me was. I'm the only person who can tell you the intent behind me, and you either believe me or you don't, but there was never any malicious intent behind anything I ever did. And it's just very frustrating to watch right now. A lot of you out there and people that I used to collaborate with and respect just now flat out lie. And I didn't want to make this video. I didn't want to call this person out, but I am going to show some receipts, and I am going to call someone out right now because I just think it was just weird and not really appropriate. So I want to get to something to wrap this video up, because I don't want to keep talking about this topic. This isn't what this channel is about, but I wanted to wrap, since the week's winding up, I wanted to give you guys just sort of an honest update about where things are, and just trying to create things. I know this is a small wave of fame I'm riding, and a lot of you will disappear and go somewhere else. But it was important for me to set the record, make the record clear of where I stand and where I want to move forward. And I do want to be able to call out people when they're lying to me and when they're saying things out there, to avoid conversations, because I lost everything. I am starting over, and I've got nothing to lose now. Like, I have a support system around me that loves me no matter what, that I can talk to when I have problems, and I think y'all need that. But now, I don't care about Twitter and what you guys are going to tell me. I'd like, if you're going to be doing it civilly, I care. If we can have a real conversation, bring it on. But if you're just going to scream at me and tell me I'm an ass, okay, that's not helpful. And in this instance, this person hasn't done that, but this person did do some mistruths, and it frustrates me, and I'm going to call it out just because I think it should be called out. If you go and listen to John Campea's podcast, I think it was on the 23rd, he said this.
Did you watch Andy's, former Screen Junkies host video showing evidence of his innocence from claims of sexual assault? I'm going to say this. I'm not going to comment on that. That's not what I'm not here to talk about like celebrity gossip of other YouTube channels. Look, when the initial Andy stuff came out, I said, I'm making no comment about it. And today, I'm saying I'm making no comment about it. That's not what my YouTube channel is. That's not what I'm here to do. So I am not going to comment on it. Simple as that. I appreciate you sent that in. I appreciate you asking. Nothing wrong that you asked, but that's not what my channel is for. My channel is for all of us to talk about the things we love, movies, television, things like that. I'm not here to talk about the behind-the-scene drama of other YouTube channels. That's not what I'm here to do. So with all due respect, not going to answer that.
Now, I respect that, and I have no problem with John. I'm not trying to call him on blast, except that he's not telling the truth. He absolutely did have comments that he made during that time, and I guess he thought we wouldn't have the receipts. He did. He actually, not only did he make thoughts on the Andy Signore situation, he put a whole blog, a very just frustratingly unasked for piece that really just went against me in ways and took a lot of assumptions about me and my behavior that I didn't really appreciate at the time, to be perfectly honest. But he did what he did, and he had his piece, and his fans here clearly clapped him on. But what's really funny is he looks like he deleted it. That's no longer here. So I was hoping to talk it through because I remember specific passages from there that didn't sit with me well. And it's clearly an article he read. This was not a no comment article, as you can see here, the abuse of power and a wake up call for men and our attitudes. I find it very just not cool that he would go and tell his audience that he didn't make a comment last time, and he's not going to make a no comment. Now, granted, I agree he shouldn't have made a comment. That's fair. But he did make a comment, and now he's trying to reverse the history, like a lot of people are doing, and saying that he didn't. And so it just made me go down a wormhole. I'm like, you know what? I don't really. I'll be honest. I don't think he watched a lot of my work. I didn't really watch a lot of his work. But I went to go watch some of his work to see, is he really telling the truth? Is that really how this works? He doesn't talk about these types of things. And so I found this.
Because I normally don't like to talk about this type of stuff, but it is fascinating, so let's get into it for a second.
Blank me or lose your job. I never read anything that made me feel like Lasseter should get a life sentence and never allowed to work again. I'm torn. What say you, John? We're delving into some edgy stuff this morning.
Look, some stuff that, quite frankly, look, we're delving into some topics here that no matter what we say, half the people are going to hate us for whatever it is we say, and that's fine. I can live with that.
It cannot be overstated what John Lasseter did for Pixar and what he has done for animation as a whole. However, the whole Lasseter topic is a discussion for another time.
Was that Victor is a convicted child molester. He was tried, he was convicted, he served time in prison, blah, blah, blah.
Victor Salva is a convicted pedophile. What do we as a society, what is our outlook towards people who break our society laws? Do we then believe in second chances?
Today, I really wanted to chime in personally on this whole Roman Polanski thing.
Do you think it's okay to appreciate him as a filmmaker and not as a human being? You know, this is a question that we often have to ask ourselves. Is separating the artist from the art? Terry Crews is obviously one of the more unlikely voices in the Me Too movement at this point. I mean, you never would have expected that, but hey, that's the culture we live in. We wouldn't expect something like that, right?
I haven't seen a single person that knows him defend him. Many people who have met him have said nothing positive about him. Wouldn't working with him be a disaster for the studio? All right, so I do want to talk about that a little bit. Want to get your perspective on John Lasseter's situation at Pixar. Well, here we go. As this whole situation continues on more and more and more, it looks like the next name is dropped, which is John Lasseter. Now, let me preface all this with a couple of contradictory disclaimers, okay? Do you think Netflix did the right thing in canceling House of Cards after season 6? Was that the right move for Netflix to do? And if you heard me talk about the Kevin Spacey situation yesterday, I discovered that James Gunn actually put up a series of tweets and social media posts with completely horrible, stupid, and offensive jokes. I mean, I don't think we're going to see him at Comic-Con. I don't think we're going to see him on stage, because I think Disney right now, Disney is masterful at controlling the narrative. I was really surprised, to be honest with you, when the announcement first came out that they were going to try to get Red Sonja going again. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and Bryan Singer was going to do it.
Okay, now look, this is the type of story that I normally do not like to cover at all. However, because of the space that we all kind of inhabit here, we live in this culture right now where somebody can just decide they want to make an allegation and that guy's life could be destroyed. Whether it's true or not, that guy's life could be destroyed. And ignore the accuser. What proof do you expect there to exist?
Good question, John. I wonder what kind of proof could help put accusations in question, and what kind of interesting conversation, like the many you've had, could you have actually had about my subject, whether it was pro or con? Very weird. Very weird, man. Sorry to call you out, but I got to call it out for what it is. You could have talked about whatever feelings you thought about me. You didn't like me, whatever. I don't know how you felt about me. I didn't have any problems with you. I never said anything about you, especially publicly, but you did when I went down. So look, I'm not asking for an apology. I don't care what you do. I just wanted to point out that I found that hypocritical, and I find it hypocritical for a lot of people now suddenly really rushing to call things when they heard the allegations, but not waiting until, I could go through my lawsuit, tell my side of things, and just assume that I'm a liar, I'm a jerk, I'm an abusive ass who has no claim to anything, that I just am complete monster, and that nothing I can do will ever change that, is now the MO apparently for a lot of film Twitter. So you know what? I'm not in film Twitter anymore. I'm happy to be out of film Twitter. I don't consider my audience to be the alt-right, misogynist, NRA, Gamergate pieces of S. So I hope you'll stick around, audience. I believe in you. I think we could do some good. I am very excited to launch a new project that is not going to be like this at all. It's going to be a lot more positive. So I hope you guys stay tuned. I don't really want to call anybody's BS out again, but at the same time, I'm in a place now where I want to just call it out what it is. I'm not going to ever accuse anything of anybody that's not proven. But if you guys have receipts and you want to send me something that you feel like something's not talking, my DMs on social media are open: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Send me a note. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what's something you think needs to be talked about that's being ignored out there in this space and in anything. That's what I want to start doing, is trying to make a change, make it good, and not just go down the wormhole of misogyny. I'm not going to do that. I'm sure it's going to come up in topics, and I'm sure as a person, we're going to have differences of opinion as we move forward, but I want to have good dialogue with you. I want to have fun dialogues with you. I want to talk movies again, and I can't wait to do that with you next week and beyond. So thank you so much for sticking around, and please, please, please don't go after John or any of the people. It's enough. It's good. The thing's coming down. I got a nice little boost from a lot of you, and I hope you stick around and support me. I'm so grateful for the second chance here. I promise I won't let you down. So thank you so much. Please stay tuned. Please hit that subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you soon.